Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 2 of the Incandescent Basics of StarCraft 2. This episode we're going to be covering just the very basics of how to start the game off and how to incorporate a lot of what we talked about last game, how to control units, how to use your keyboard, all those good things into just the beginning play of the game, how to start off. I'm not going to cover any build orders. I do urge you not to follow any build order that I use to specifically look for pro replays, for instance, as a better source of build orders. I'm going to split this episode into 3 parts. Protoss, as you can see here, we'll start off, then Terran, then Zerg. Before you skip this one though, I'd like to go over a couple of things I missed out of the last episode, and then if you're not a Protoss player, then you can just skip away to your heart's content, that's fine. The first thing in the menu, options, there's a few options I didn't talk about. The main one I'd like to talk about is the display build grid. I recommend this for everyone. It just shows a square grid layout in a circular pattern around any building you want to make. Anything you can't build on is greyed out, such as ramps, mineral fields, all that jazz. Instead of having to move the building icon around so it will show up red on anything you can't build on, you can see that. It'll also allow you to line them up against other buildings more easily. Very useful for building a defense, which I will show you in a minute. Also, the flyer helper, I recommend this to everyone. Simply puts a line from any air unit to their corresponding ground position, because EMP, Storm and Fungal Growth are ground based even though they affect air equally. The damage marker, the area marker, is flat to the ground, so if you want to attack any air units with those spells, put the marker so that it includes the flyer helper line where it displays on the ground, and then you'll hit those air units, rather than trying to hit air units just flat on the screen. You'll miss and it'll be disappointing and you might cry a little bit. I don't recommend crying a little bit, especially mid game. It can impede your performance. So we'll go back to it, return to game, I'll scroll down here. The second thing I wanted to quickly mention, I say quickly, rambling a little bit, don't mind me, is the hotkey waypoints for screens. I know you can hotkey waypoint or control group, as we often call it, we being me. You can control group units, but you can also control waypoint screen positions using the F5, F6 and F7, obviously also the control key. So let's say I've expanded on my great economy I've got here. I will control F5 on this position. I will then just quickly scroll down. This is my expansion, that's a good position. Control F6, lovely. Now I can press F5. Ooh, there I am, F6, there's my expansion. 5-6, high 6. I don't personally use this because I think the F5, F6 and F7 key are a bit out of the way. Also on my keyboard they're tiny and inconvenient. So if I do get a keyboard with bigger F keys, maybe I'll incorporate that, who knows. So I'm just going to run through the beginning order that I recommend as you start out. First, click on your Nexus. I'm going to be referring to keyboard shortcuts as the standard hotkey layout. So for me the hotkey for a probe is E. So I want to click on the Nexus, then I want to press E, then I want to sweep the probes, right click on a mineral. I want to then quickly click on the Nexus, find a mineral that's not being mined and right click on that. If I ever want to, for some reason, remove the rally point, I can click, that's right click by the way, right click on the Nexus. So I'll just go through that, E, sweep, right click, that one's being mined, or right click there, and then I will want to press the E key a lot. I have not enough minerals, but I want to have enough minerals. There it is. Go to the other non-mined. I'm going to not use my chrono boost. I have got maximum chrono boost because I've been waiting around. But you don't want to use your chrono boost yet. You want to wait until you've got your first pylon out. Press E again. And then, because I'm not really going to be too skillful, there are some things you can do to maximize your mining by small percentages. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to send this probe out. It's a little bit late. I have been talking. That's my excuse. Going to send him here. I'm going to make a pylon there. Then what I should have done is held shift. I'm holding shift now. Right click on a mineral field, and then he'll run to the position, make a building, and then run back immediately straight away. It's good practice, especially for Terran. Talk about that in the Terran segment, because this SV obviously just stays with the building until it's done. Now that's done, I can press E and C for chrono boost. Click on that. If I'm ever away and I wish to chrono boost, I can double tap 1. Oh, I haven't hotkeyed my nexus. First I will hotkey my nexus to 1. Press E again. Because Sakura's Plateau is a big map, I'm going to use a 12 gate. I would recommend a 10 or 11 on a smaller map like Steps of War. It's just a tip. Again, don't follow this for any build order advice. I'm making more probes, chrono boosting these probes. I'm a little bit lazy, so what I'll do, I'll make 2 probes, because 1 chrono boost covers about 1.6 probes. You can watch it down here. The chrono boost should get to about here, most of the way through the 4, and then disappear. Oh, there it is. So that's an easy way of just, if you're not too APM intensive, just double tap the probe key, and then you'll maximize your chrono boost. Now I want to get an assimilator just before I'm going to get my cybernetics core, because I want to get a zealot out of my gateway straight away. I also then want to get a sentry or a stalker for defense. I'll press B, then Y. You can see there's a 1 square gap there. I'll put my cybernetics core here. The reason why I'm having a 1 square gap is I'll rally my zealot there, and then he'll be in that 1 square gap, and I'll have a full wall off. However, 1 square is big enough for even the Immortal to get through. The Colossus can't get through it, but the Colossus can happily just jaunt down the cliff there, so that's not a big issue. So 1 square gap, that's all I need. There are people who do a full wall off. I'm going to press hold position there. There are people who get a full wall off. I'm also going to pretend that I put my 3 probes into gas straight away instead of talking away. So I would have plenty of gas up to get my warp gate tech there and my stalker, or even sentry if I'd got the gas even earlier, which I didn't. I'm also using the Nexus hotkey, double tap 1, E, C, E again, and I'm going to hotkey this to 2, just because it's what I like to do. I'm getting the stalker out. I'm going to get some pylons out. Before that, however, I'm going to show you this little trick. If I want the stalker to spawn on this side of the gateway, I rally there. If I want him to spawn on this side of the gateway, I rally there. If I want him to come just here, I'll rally, then hold shift, click like that, so he'll run in this way. That way he's guaranteed to be behind this zealot. I'm going to get a probe off the minerals. I'm going to control group him as 3. He'll be my pylon probe. That's a little bit of alliteration. My enunciation's gone, but that was alliteration. Pylon probe. I studied English. Now, as you can see, I'm supply locked, or supply blocked, whichever you want to call it. There's a B in one of them. That's a very bad thing. Obviously, my minerals are growing. I'm not building anything. If someone's rushing me and I've been supply locked, then I've only got 1 gateway. I should have had a lot more units. Should have been a lot closer than this. I'm going to keep on with this. E, C, pylon probe, double tap him, tell him to go there, build the pylon, shift click, back there, you can see it's doing automatically. Press 2, check this. It's my stalker. He's pretty good. He does stalk a little though, so that's worrying. I'm going to build 2 more gateways, send him back. E, chrono boost, 2, stalker. Cybernetics core still going. 1, E. Wait for the chrono boost to disappear. E again. 2. Checking up here, I've still got enough. 1, chrono boost. 2, stalker. I'm going to hold shift and control on the 2 with the gateway selected. Click on these, control and 2. Now you can see here that's 3 gateways. I'm going to rally them all there, easy enough. This one, I'm going to rally like that. Press 2, S, because I've got more than one here, then there's a little Q display there so I can see they're queued up well. 1, E, chrono boost, E again. And if you're a good player and you can keep up with the probe production, I recommend only having one in the queue at a time. But if you're not that good, like I say, it's an easy way to just keep the probe production up. E again. Waiting for this. I'm not going to build any stalkers because this is almost done. And the warping in is instantaneous. It's also 10 seconds quicker to warp in than it is to build, so that's 38, 42, 42, and that's done. G, 3 times. These will all go like this. I'm then going to build myself a robotics facility. There, shift it back. I'm going to get my pylon probe, tell him to go out. Pylon, back. I'm going to get my robotics facility to control group 2. Because the warp gates have their own control group, W. It's the only thing in the game with its own specific control group key. It's a little bit of cheating. Anyway, W selects all of my warp gates. Or holds S, then we'll hold shift and click, click, click. That will allow me to build stalkers quickly. If I wish to do not stalkers, I have to let go of shift, and then the stalker will disappear. I can press the hotkey for a different unit, sentry or zealot, and then if I hold shift I can build more than one. If I don't hold shift I can only build one. I need more pylons coming up soon. Pylon probe, pylon there, holding the shift key, build 2. Let go of the shift key to remove the pylon icon, then hold shift again, right click to the mineral. I'm also constantly building probes, by the way, constantly chrono boosting them, doing that little trick. And I've got a decent army. I've decided I'm going to attack. B for an observer, get him to go out there. We'll just pretend that I know where my opponent is and cross map. Send these out, control and 5, control group 5 there. I'm going to send a probe out with them, and I'm going to do a nice little trick. I'm going to build a pylon there. That will allow me to warp in next to these rocks on the other side. Double tap the 5 key, that's my army there. Double tap 1, chrono boost, EE. Warp in some units here, S. Something's just happened. If I press the spacebar key, it'll take me to that. Because I was slow, it took me to this instead of the observer, but I'm going to send the observer out. Control 7, that's just an arbitrary, I'm going to use that. Now these reinforcements, I'm going to press 5, that's my army. Hold shift and box over these. Then I'm going to control 5 again, see that control group icon changed. Then I double tap 5, there it is. Move forward. This is completed. I'm going to send that probe back. Got that probe selected. Send him there. There he is. Pylon probe might need... Actually, no, pylon probe's fine for now. Keep building. As I said, this is not a build order in any way, so I haven't bothered with extra gas. Haven't bothered with the right amount of gateways. Just as an example. Now, this pylon I'm going to control group to 4. That will be my unit producing pylon because warp gates require pylons. So I'm going to be with my army controlling them. Double tap 4. Tap W. I want stalkers. S. There they are. Tap 5. Hold shift. Box these. Control 5. Attack there. That's pressing the A key. And attack. You should always advance forward with the attack